monster. No, you are wrong. I am a god.
I'm Rex Paradox, the greatest man who ever lived, your future shadow overlord, part-time otaku, cinnamon toast crunch lover, and today on the program, an age-old question, and I'm talking about this shit, an age-old question. Do video games make people violent? Straight up, I don't think so. But, I mean, you could make the argument. You could easily make the argument. What do I mean by that? There are plenty of cases of motherfucking kids who've done some shit to killed their parents legitimately over video games. Straight up killed their parents over video games. People be like, oh, blah blah blah, such and such is mentally ill. I'm like, no, they weren't mentally ill. That's not what that shit was. They were just a fucking scumbag. That's all it was. Motherfuckers like, oh, they're mentally ill, they need help, they need mental help. Like, nah, man, no. That's not an excuse for fucking killing your parents over some bullshit. It was some story years ago where some kid killed his mom over Call of Duty. I think it was just a story recently where some kid he shot his dad over I think he took Fortnite away from her or some shit. Away from him. He straight up premeditated the shit and killed his dad. And people be like, oh, video games don't make people violent, it's just bad parenting. I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, I feel like playing Call of Duty's made me a much more dangerous individual. Cause on paper, right, I'm not out here shooting fucking, Type 25s and shit, or M16s. But if I were put in a scenario where I had to do that, if it was a combat scenario, my mind is evolved tactically, where it's okay, this is a good place, this is a good vantage place, right? It's in real life, you're not gonna be able to fucking hide behind some bullshit stack of hay and it's gonna absorb the bullets. That shit ain't about to happen. But from a tactical standpoint, it's made me more dangerous. And realistically, a lot of us probably on the fucking FBI watch list. Let's just be real here. If you played enough fucking Call of Duty, you probably on the fucking FBI watch list. I'm just being honest with you. It's probably some fucking secret database. If we had a fucking draft, it is no doubt in my mind that our country would fucking destroy whoever the fuck. If every fucking physically capable person who's ever played Call of Duty and went 30-0 were to fucking join the military, the shit would be over for the rest of the world. Once niggas realize, oh yeah, ain't no respawning, it's gonna get fucking crazy. All the quickscopers gonna die. Them niggas gonna die. But anyone out here fucking who's ever fucking ran the game with an SMG or an assault rifle, we probably gonna be alright. We gonna have a nice kill streak out there. That's not the point. I'm not trying to minute, but that's how it is though. That's how it is. Now, it's different degrees to this shit. If you can pick up a game, you could probably pick up fucking using a gun in real life. It's not that fucking hard. It's not that hard. Aim, fucking pull the trigger, have a good stance so you don't get some fucking nasty ass kickback and hit yourself with a fucking gun in the face. And I mean, that's it. That's pretty much, just gotta learn how to reload and account for recoil and shit. That's pretty much it. Nigga, before Call of Duty, motherfucking kids ain't know how to throw a flashbang into whatever the fuck. How to use a strobe light on a gun. We ain't know how to do that shit. It was nothing like that before. But, after playing all these games and shit, I'm you come to realize that this shit really ain't that hard. And I don't think video games make people violent. I think it makes people more capable. It makes people more capable of violence. Right? If I were to go to war, I probably would consider that shit a video game. Because, whoever I have to shoot, they ain't people to me at a certain point. I'ma just be real, at a certain point, they ain't people to me. Motherfuckers like that on the streets. Right? Niggas out here shooting. I'm not even gonna say niggas. People in general are just out here shooting each other for fucking no reason other than I don't like that motherfucker. They ain't a person to me. That's legitimately happening on the streets of America and other places all over the world too. People don't see other people as people. Or they do and they don't give a fuck. And violent video games make people more fucking capable of like pushing that shit out of their mind that these other people are people. I don't know what Call of Duty, man. Like I honestly don't know. People are like, you know, the government and blah blah blah, they made this shit to make a generation of soldiers. I'm like, hey, they might be right. I don't fucking know. Grand Theft Auto, I really don't know with that one. People, it's numerous fucking instances of people doing some Grand Theft Auto shit where like they fucking steal some cars or whatever the fuck, go on a shoot spree, some shit like that. And people always be like, you know, you see like the comments on like news videos like someone's been playing Grand Theft Auto. Someone's been playing fucking Grand Theft Auto. You ever wonder why like all these games are fucking first person shooters now? You ever think about that shit? Like, it's not because first person shooters are more fun. That's definitely not the reason. There's some fucking alternative shit to that. But like, that's kind of conspiracy theory territory. But like, it's really not, because I mean, it's kind of crazy how many games are first person shooters. We're gonna be honest out here. I don't think playing Devil May Cry is about to make you violent. I mean, it might, I don't know. I don't think it's about to magnify it. Like, I can't fucking just run outside with a fucking 5-foot sword with no training and just fucking start killing motherfuckers. It's like, nah, I can't do that shit. I'm not about to get stabbed like Dante and survive that shit. That's just not gonna happen. I'm not out here fighting demons. Like, no. Fucking, here's the thing. Here's the argument that I don't hear enough. That people never fucking make. They never make this shit. Right? If you turn on your TV during prime time or whatever the fuck, like, I say 5 to like 11, you can watch some shit like NCIS, and you see fucking people get shot constantly. You telling me that doesn't desensitize people? You telling me that doesn't give people the idea to like, oh, these fucking police officers or whatever the fuck, like they always on the up and up because they always shooting the bad guy. I'm doing air quotes there, shooting the bad guy. That's not a political thing either. That's like some civil discussion right there. That's some legit civil discussion. I always tell everyone who watches that shit, I'm like, man, you need to stop watching NCIS or whatever the fuck. Whatever the fuck. If motherfuckers out here shooting people on TV, it's not helping anybody. Because it's pushing a narrative that this shit is okay for them to do. Because it's their job. That's the narrative it's pushing. Like, I'm not with that shit. I probably blame TV before I fucking blame video games. You got motherfuckers on Law and Order and NCIS is like, blah blah blah, such and such. It's like, nah, man, nah. Y'all pushing this narrative. This is the type of shit right here that's desensitizing people. Not fucking Call of Duty. I mean, Call of Duty can do it, but I'm like, you know this shit is a game. People with functioning minds with fucking common sense know that this shit is a game. You should know that it's a game with NCIS too. But it's like, those are real people. They're acting, but they're real people doing that shit. They're real people doing that shit. Yes, it's acting, but they're real people doing that shit. With Call of Duty, like, that shit's a game. Motherfuckers can't quickscope you in real life. Ain't none of that shit. They can't do that. You can't fucking 360 no scope 720 whatever the fuck dolphin dive. Like, it ain't none of that shit in real life. It's none of that shit in real life. Motherfucker, I don't know about fucking gravity spiking, nigga. I'm sure somebody can figure something out like that. But I'm like, otherwise, it's a game. But, I mean, games can make people, I guess, more capable of being violent. I don't know, man. Like, for real, I consider Call of Duty like a fucking, it's a real-time strategy game, no matter how you look at it. But I'm like, it's kind of like military training. It's some light military training, but like, it's like that, man. It's like that. Real talk, like, it really is. If you play enough Call of Duty and like you pick up some guns and you're not a pussy, you can fuck some shit up. Straight the fuck up. You can do that shit. You can fuck some shit up if you're physically capable. Like, them guns, they ain't no fucking lightweight shit. Straight up, like all the armor, fucking equipment that you probably be wearing, like that little, like, fucking Timmy, 120-pound Timmy, this nigga ain't going to war. He ain't gonna make it in war. He can't carry that shit. But like a nigga who like, I don't know, 6'1", 220, like he probably could make it. I'm not that tall, but I'm like, hey nigga, I could make it too. I could carry like 60, 50, maybe even 100 pounds of equipment on me and like tear some shit up. Like, I don't know, man. I really don't. But, I mean, do video games make people violent? No. Do violent people play video games? Some of them do. Do they make people more proficient? Or train them suddenly? Yes, I do think they do that. I do think they do that. I could fucking ask anyone who's ever played Call of Duty, how you breach a door. How the fuck do you breach a door? You put some charges on that motherfucker, you throw a flashbang or something, a concussion grenade in there, or maybe you have a fucking strobe light on your gun and you start shooting motherfuckers. It's simple as that. It's that fucking simple. And you can't tell me that you don't know how to do it if you played at least maybe 1 to 2 Call of Duty campaigns. You can't do it. Them tacticals and lethal grenades, like, that shit is in the game for a reason. And you know what they're for once you play the game enough. You know that throwing a tactical grenade is like, it can give you an advantage. Throwing a lethal grenade can fucking kill people. It's the same shit, just translated to real life. when the fucking SWAT team, like, they break into motherfuckers, like, batter and ram, they throw a flashbang in the house. Or inside of whatever structure. If you know how to do that shit, you can do it. If you played the shit and you fucking do a little bit of training, maybe like 2 or 3 hours of training, like, you'll have that shit down. But that's the video. I'm tired of dumb motherfuckers saying like video games don't make people violent. It's like they kind of do, but they kind of don't. It's really like it's a huge debate with a lot of opinions on it. But shit like NCIS definitely desensitizes people. That shit definitely does that. Same shit with Law and Order. Like, that shit desensitizes people. And I fucked up saying desensitized. But I don't care. This video is over. I'm Rex Paradox, the greatest man who ever lived. Have a nice day. Goodbye.